Hey beautiful people, welcome to the channel. Rosy Kech here. If it's your first time here, welcome to the channel. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming back. Please don't fail to hit the subscribe button. If you haven't, please subscribe to my channel and please give this video a massive thumbs up. So really, it's beginning to look like, it's not even beginning to look like, at this point, Nigeria is for the elites. Now, just all the things that have been happening today, and you know that I made a video a few weeks ago talking about the things that Nigerians do, like stereotypes that Nigerians have to break. So yes, and I said in that video that I was going to talk about the good things and the bad things that are happening in Nigeria. So trust me that when the bad things come, I'm going to be here talking about it as much as I will talk about the good when they happen. Now on Sunday, airline operators threatened that they were going to shut down operations because they could not afford to buy aviation fuel. Apparently, aviation fuel had gone up from 190 naira per litre to 700 naira per litre, and now they cannot afford to buy this fuel and also run the cost of operations. You know that they have to do other things, pay salaries, you know, service the aircraft and all those things. They cannot afford to do all that, probably for the price that they are charging to fly. And you know that this price they are charging right now is outrageous. Now, return flight from Abuja to Lagos is about 130,000 naira. So, in a country where the minimum wage is 30,000 naira, even the middle class are gradually beginning to enter the group of those who cannot afford to fly comfortably, at least in Nigeria. Now we wake up the next day and we realize that the airline operators are not going to stop operations anymore. We see that the shutdown has been suspended because the airline operators apparently received calls that there will be an intervention, so there will be no need for them to shut down. Now this is, I think, the second time that they've been trying to shut down and it hasn't happened. But guys, ASUU has been on strike since 14th of February and there has been no intervention. In fact, a minister has told us that he doesn't know, or the government doesn't know, why ASUU is on strike. March, April, May, we're in middle of May right now, so 3 months, getting to 4 months of ASUU being on strike, of millions of students confused. Because I went to school in a Nigerian university and I know what strike feels like. You are confused. You cannot make big plans. You cannot move on with your life. You cannot even learn a skill, because if you want to learn a skill, maybe you have to pay for 3 months and you are thinking, will this strike last for 3 months? Or if I pay this money, is it going to be a waste? Oh, they are going to call off the strike in 2 weeks. If you went to school in Nigeria and you know how these strike things go, please let me know in the comment section. It is not a joke. You get calls today that they're going to call off strike next week, and you're so happy. Oh, we'll go back to school next week, and the next week says next week, and the next week is next week. That is how strikes are in Nigeria. It is a very confusing time for every Nigerian student who has had to go through it. So now this strike has been happening for over 3 months. Confused students, and there has been nothing done about it. Recall that last year ASUU also went on strike. In Nigeria, ASUU goes on strike at least once every year. I think there are some years they even go on strike more than once. So let's just be kind to them. They go on strike at least once every year. Some students have been on strike and nothing has been done about it for over 4 months. The elites I talked about that this Nigeria is for, they barely have their children schooling here. Now, even if they have their children schooling here, they are in private universities. And now, you know that Nigeria has a lot of private universities right now. So it's becoming a better option than government public universities, because at least when you go to school for 4 years, if you're going to go to school for 4 years, you will be in school for 4 years. If your course is a 5 years course, you know that in 5 years, if you pass your courses, you would have graduated. But that's not the case of Nigerian students in state and government universities, because your course can be a 4 years course and you will end up spending 5.5 years in school if you add all those years, all those months that you had to go on strike. Now, you don't know how this destabilizes students. Now, the elites whose children are not in private universities have their children far away in the Obodo Igbo, far away overseas. So you see why this ASUU strike does not affect them and how they will not know why ASUU is on strike. Now, they've let ASUU be on strike for 3 months and they didn't let the airline operators even last 1 day. Why is that? Because these big boys, they cannot ply the same road that you, the normal Nigerian, the average Nigerian, plies. They have to fly at least to the closest place to where they have to continue their road trip. They cannot afford to be on the road because the roads are bad. Now they have to fly at least to the closest airport close to where they are going to go to by road. Now on Monday, ASUU ended its warning strike and now they are going to start the main strike proper. And there's been no solution to the problem. Students are still going to be at home. Now students are beginning to protest, which is good because at least people are getting to stand up and speak up. But we know that when it comes to protests in Nigeria, it's a very risky situation because the security operatives do not know how to handle this, and it can end badly for some people.
Yes, course, let the student there graduate 4 years. We cannot be studying 4 years course for 7 years. We cannot be studying 4 years course for 9 years because of ASUU strike. Coronavirus came, we stayed at home. ASUU strike came, we stayed at home. Just January here, we resumed. February 14th, they went on strike again. My ID card have expired. My ID card have graduated before me. I'm still a student.
Now, this ASUU issue should not even be happening in a sane society because education is supposed to be key. We have ASUU going on strike for months, demanding for things that the government is supposed to have provided. Now, this is in a country where politicians who do not have any other source of income apart from politics, are buying forms for presidency of 100 million. Don't say I told you. 100 whole million naira. 100 million naira is beginning to seem like 50 naira to our politicians. So now, if you count the number of politicians who have bought forms of 100 million naira, do the maths. Yet it's in this same country that we have to have meetings for months upon months upon months for 30,000 naira minimum wage to be approved. It's in this same country that we have to strike and strike and strike for ASUU to be listened to and students go back to school. The same country that in a whole state you can hardly find one world-class hospital, and our presidential forms are going for 100 million naira. Guys, it is unbelievable. That's just the word. It is unbelievable. Should we talk about the increase in prices of food in a country where jobs have not been created in years, in a country where there has not been any serious employment in years, in a country that has states owing the federal government and the federal government owing other people? We are a joke. Sometimes when you look at it, look at the circle of events, and you just realize that this is a whole mess, and I mean this in capital letters. Things are going wrong. I know that this might not affect you, but there is nobody watching this video who doesn't know one person. There is no Nigerian watching this video who doesn't know one person that is a university student in Nigeria. Even if the person is not your sister or your brother, they might be your cousin or your friend or your friend's cousin or your friend's sister. Somehow you know somebody who is affected by this. And now gradually, people don't want to go to school anymore because they are looking like, what's the point? Why am I going to go to school? Spend 6 years, come out and not have a job. There are faster ways to make money. Now crime rates are increasing. Why do you think this is happening? You do not realize that this is the seed that we are planting as a nation. Someone around you is affected. And as much as we want to think that is nothing, we cannot all school abroad. Not everybody can afford to send their children to school abroad. People are still struggling to pay school fees in naira. And now you're talking about going abroad. Not everybody can. And the funny thing is, a higher percentage of Nigerians cannot afford it. I think sometimes you should put off your phone, close your Instagram account, get off Twitter, go to the junction closest to you, go to the market closest to you, go to the public schools closest to you, and see for yourself the real situation of things, because sometimes it's so easy to forget about how things are if you're always online, because everybody's rich online now. Everybody has money online. Everybody's a big boy on Twitter. Everybody's a big girl on Instagram. Sometimes put off your phone and go see the reality of things for yourself. It's a very sad situation. I experienced the strike in Nigerian University, and I don't wish it for anybody. People don't want to go to school anymore because it's becoming like a waste of time. But you know what? I actually think that that's a ploy, because they are sending their kids to school abroad, and in years to come, those kids are going to come back and control the things that you would have controlled too if you went to school too. And this is not saying that if you don't go to school, you cannot control things. I'm just saying that we have to also have people who went to school and those who would choose not to go to school. Let it be an option that you have to make. Let it not be an option that you made because the country failed you. I don't want to go to school. Then you don't go to school. We should not have people dropping out because they are tired of the situation of things. Parents taking loans to pay school fees in schools that will keep their children for extra years. I remember when I was in school, you had to pay for hostel. A lot of us didn't even have hostels inside school. Then you have to pay for outside hostels. So imagine having an extra year, not because you failed or because of the strike. Now you have to pay for an extra year to rent in hostels. Some parents have more than one child in different public universities in Nigeria. The state of ASUU and this striking is terrible. And the moment we begin to speak out, we've been speaking out. What do you think is the solution in the comment section? Because it feels like, or it seems like, people in power, they don't send us. They don't even have time for this thing we're talking about. When is the next election? That's all they can think of. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'm going to see you in my next one. Stay safe and be kind.